Thank you, Hugh, and a very good evening to you. The 406th match of the championship season, and undoubtedly the biggest so far by a street. Mathematically, it isn't a title decider. The final dozen jeopardy-laden games of their respective seasons provide ample opportunity for unforeseen twists. And the advantage that each enjoy over third-place Burnley provides a safety net of sorts for the promotion battle. Well, for now at least. But this is a night that could shape the entire season. Brushstrokes that could define the overall picture come May, particularly if Leeds were to win. A 5-point lead at the top for a side unbeaten in 16 would feel significant. It would be by far the biggest step yet towards the championship title. So a draw, a better result for the visitors. But if you're a Blades fan, Dean, would you take a draw now, or is this a must-win encounter?
I think when you're at home, it doesn't matter who you're against, but especially against the team that you're chasing, that you get all 3 points. I think it could be huge, and it's also a big psychological knock to Burnley, who are going to chase and who you've got to face later on in the season. So for me, no, I think you've got to go in thinking what an unbelievable result it can be to pick up 3 points here against Leeds.
Sheffield United in their red and white striped shirts and black shorts, defending the Kop in the first half. Cooper in goal, Clark, Akmadojic, Robinson and Burrows, Peck and Vinny Sosa, Raksaki, O'Hare and Britton Diaz, and Campbell. Daniel Farke serving a touchline ban. Ed Reamer in the technical area for Leeds, who've got Melier in goal, Bogle, Roden, Strauch and Firpo. Tanaka in the midfield with Gruev, James Aronson and Solomon and Peru. Any Yorkshire derby is eagerly awaited, but when it's the top two in the championship with the divisional lead at stake, an already special fixture is elevated to fresh heights. Sheffield United, Leeds United, second against first. These are the nights for which TalkSport 2 was invented. And Leeds kicking from left to right in their change kit of all yellow. Bogle in possession. And the boos will tell you that he's got the ball. The cheers will tell you that he didn't do an awful lot with it. Shanked it straight out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Sheffield United left. Jayden Bogle, who played more than 100 games for Sheffield United before his £5 million move up the M1 back in the summer. Long throw hurled forward down the left-hand side by the Blades left back Harrison Burrows. Goes out of play. Another opportunity to take a throw. Robinson's going to come across to take this. The Blades captain. A little bit of movement coming through the midfield from Peck. Robinson will take a couple of steps and then launch it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Sheffield United picking up the second ball. Vinny Sosa going for goal, and he shanked that one down towards the corner flag. It's going to be kept in by Raksaki. Leeds had given it up for dead. Raksaki's ball inside the box. Header away from Roden inside his own 6-yard box. Sheffield United on the front foot from the very off.
Oh, it's such a great ball from Raksaki on that right-hand side, just tucking back onto that left foot and whipping a great ball in just over the top of Tyrese Campbell's head. And Rodon did really well just to spot that and head it away.
Ball headed down in the midfield by Gruev. And Tanaka has just been able to guide it back to the edge of his own penalty area. There's been a clash between two players. Strauch is down hurt. He actually is motionless. He hasn't moved. There's a United player down there as well. And already something for David Webb, the referee, to sort out. It was a genuine attempt to win the ball after O'Hare had laid it off. Strauch coming to meet it. He and Campbell both going for it. And colliding with each other pretty heftily.
Just really awkward, wasn't it? The collision. I think it was Tanaka as well that just went to poke the ball between the two of them. And I think it was just the knee that collided with Strauch's hip. And then Campbell hit the floor awkwardly, but they're both up.
And play resumes with a drop ball. Leeds working it out of the left-hand touchline, and Firpo couldn't keep it in. It's been a little bit of a nervy start from Daniel Farke's men. Sheffield United with nearly all of the possession, and most of that inside the half that they're attacking. Away to our left-hand side, the part of Bramall Lane that houses the away fans. Another good jump over on the far touchline, but leaning into Firpo, a free kick conceded there by Clark, and an opportunity for Leeds just to calm things down. 0-0.
I mean, look, it's the type of game where, tactically, your thought process gets parked at the start. You feel the atmosphere like it's rippling on your skin, and you're just thinking about the individual battles and the intensity that you've got to start with. Sheffield United with that intense start, just with the first couple of plays, percentage plays, flicking it round the corner and down the side, and Leeds just wanting to get hold of the ball and start to keep possession.
And trying to do that now with Outenacker. It's a good ball turn around the corner by James. Bogle will chase after it. Did he keep it in? Yes, he did. First cross blocked, second one blocked. And that will cannon out of play for a Leeds United throw on this near touchline. They've got a good record in this fixture, Leeds. They've won the last 3 meetings and the last 2 here. Most recently when Pat Bamford scored a very late winner at Bramall Lane back in 2020. Leeds' first opportunity really to get themselves on the front foot. Ball is worked out to the left flank. James is waiting in the penalty area. Sliding challenger, a good one to knock it away. Stop the cross coming in. Gruev scampering after the loose ball over on the far touchline, which is the Leeds United left. But then couldn't get the touch that he wanted. And the Blades will try and bring it away. Raksaki, though, unable to emerge with possession. And Leeds can calm things down. They'll go back for Pascal Strout. Back alongside Joe Roden at centre-half today, having come off the bench and scored those 2 goals against Sunderland last weekend, which extended Leeds' winning streak to 4 in a row in the league. They're unbeaten in 15, but still, over the last 8 games, behind Sheffield United in the form table, with the Blades having taken 21 points and Leeds 20 out of the last 24 available. So Blades have possession. Jack Robinson turning the ball back to his goalkeeper, Michael Cooper, who's only conceded 8 in his 15 games here at Bramall Lane. Long ball punted forward from him. Little bit of wrestling going on with Bogle, and Brayton Diaz wins a free kick about 10 yards shy of the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, just lost the flight of it, Bogle. Brayton Diaz just sensed it, manoeuvred Bogle into a position. He was slightly unlucky that it hit him on his back, but then he just drags Brayton Diaz back. I mean, they're going to be the key battles, aren't they, wide? Just because Bogle and Firpo have been given so much licence throughout the season to get forwards, Brayton Diaz and Raksaki need to do their defensive work, but also sense when the gaps are there in behind when they've gone forwards.
Well, there's no disguise on this Sheffield United free kick. Harrison Burrows is the man that's standing over it. It's absolutely dead level with the left-hand edge of the box. 12 yards outside the penalty area, 12 yards in from the left-hand touchline. He's got six-footers to try and hit around the edge of the penalty area. It's a far too flat a delivery to be an effective one. It was cleared, headed back into the fray then by Clark. Leeds will be able to break. Burrows cuts ahead after an awkward bounce to the long ball that was played forward. Peck can then turn it forward. And now Brayton Diaz will be able to receive the ball from Campbell on the left-hand touchline. Here's Tyrese Campbell again, whose next goal will be his 50th senior club goal. And he's won a throw which will be taken on the Sheffield United left. 6.5 minutes in here on TalkSport 2. And already there's a feistiness about it. There's a real crackling atmosphere as well. It's still 0-0.
And when you talked about those 6-footers, what you don't need is a ball in from Burrows at 2 foot. But Robinson with a chance with this long throw. Pretty much anywhere from the 18-yard line, 10 yards out, he'll throw it in.
Yeah, this one won't come in at 2 foot up. High ball thrown inside the penalty area, which Meslier grabbed at the second attempt. Came to meet it, looked routine, just got his hands behind it, paddled it into the ground, and then was able to pick it up as he fell.
Why isn't anyone sniffing for that? Why isn't anyone sensing that it might happen? Allowing Meslier to get his hands on the ball, but not sense that it might drift out of his hands. Yes, he was quick to react, the Leeds goalkeeper, very quickly, but still, if anyone was really alive there, it's just a tap-in.
He's only conceded once in his last 7 games, Illan Meslier, with Isidore, the only player to have scored in that time against them. Leeds on the front foot here. Junior Firpo getting to the byline. He's been able to chip it up. Dan James, probably one of the shortest men on the pitch, was jumping for it at the far post, and it just cleared him. Sheffield United are going to be able to bring it away, and Vinny Sosa very neatly turns out of trouble. Peck almost turned into it, but the young man kept his head very well. And now Harrison Burrows, the former Peterborough man, flights a long ball down the left-hand side, which Campbell has done well. Watched it come over his shoulder, brought it down on his left foot. O'Hare in the middle for him to try and hit. And his cross is blocked by Roden. It's gone out of play for the first corner of the night.
Yeah, really well spotted by Burrows. That little darting run from Campbell just came short with Rodon and then spun in behind him into the gap that Bogle will naturally leave when he goes forward. Decent ball down the line from Burrows for Campbell to do a bit of work out wide, but Rodon did incredibly well to make the block.
So Peck has come across to take this corner on the Sheffield United left. It's a really congested 6-yard box. 9 of the Leeds contingent are within that 6-yard box, and Sheffield United have got 5 of their own. There'll be 6 by the time the ball is played in. Meslier got caught in traffic, headed off the line, and Leeds scramble it to safety. Meslier just got stuck, was nowhere near it. It ended up coming in behind him. He's claiming he was fouled, but it was headed away off the line. Then Sheffield United still trying to keep a high line. Leeds worked it forward on the counter-attack, but couldn't find James. And the Blades will be able to bring it forward again with Clark. Closest that either side have come. 9.5 gone. Still 0-0. Akmadojic. Down to the left-hand side for Ben Britton Diaz, who had a successful loan spell here at the second half of last season. Able to emulate that 12 months on. Peck, back for Robinson, and back to his goalkeeper, Cooper. And Cooper will now drive it forward right-footed. That's overhit and will drift all the way out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to our left-hand side. And only now Meslier comes across, and he's saying to the referee that he was just being pushed down on the shoulder as he went up to meet that. And seeing a replay, it was mighty close to going in.
Oh, it was, yeah. He's going to get loads of pressure on him. Of course he is. Not quite sure whether he was genuinely pulled. I think there was an arm on his shoulder, but Gruev wasn't to know that. He was nice and alert on the line. Exactly what he's there for, to make sure if the goalkeeper can't get hold of it, he's there to clear it off the line. Brilliant defending.
And I think had VAR been in place and that gone in, it wouldn't have counted. I think they would have said it was a foul by Vinny Sosa as he went up with Meslier. It would have counted here though. Gruev will bring the ball forward. No free kick was given. And this time it's a throw to Sheffield United over on the far touchline. The form at home to top 7 opposition is so-so. Beaten Sunderland and Middlesbrough here. They've drawn one and lost to Burnley. They do have the second best home form in the division. Leeds away form only the 3rd best in the Championship. They've won less than half of their games on the road. The Blues again tell you that it's Jaden Bogle who's in possession. Plenty of draws on the road for Leeds. If they can just turn a few more of those into victories, they will feel that they will be good enough for them to win the title. And Sheffield United's points return against top 8 opposition not nearly as good as that of Leeds, and that could end up being significant at the end of the season. Mellier's got the ball at his feet now. He's playing out from the back with 12 minutes in here on TalkSport 2. And it's still 0-0. Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton talking you through the action from Bramall Lane tonight. As Cooper in fluorescent pink clears from in front of the Kop. Peck sliding in, trying to win the second ball. Brought down over on the Leeds United left by Manuel Solomon. And he's won a throw, which will be taken over on the far touchline. You're listening to Sheffield United Leeds in the EFL Championship. It's live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus. Participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Well, I think tactically it's interesting because, of course, Leeds want to keep the ball, and Tanaka, as being clever, he's just dropping in almost to make a back 3 because O'Hare and Campbell are playing as a 2 up there and don't want the centre-backs to get it freely. So Tanaka's just gone in to make that 3rd player, which means then Bogle and Firpo are really high and testing Burton Diaz and Raksaki, whether they're asking that question, do you want to defend? We know you're attackers. Do you want to follow us?
Leeds have it now with Bogle. He's given it away. Burrows just slipped as he took it, but in doing so was able to pirouette his way past Aronson, kept his balance, kept possession, and now Burrows is on the front foot for Sheffield United. Just drops it off to his left-hand side for Ben Brereton Diaz. Curving ball in from here. Oh, flick header off the underside of the bar. Was that second one turned over the line? The third one certainly was. Sheffield United lead through Tyrese Campbell, and it's no more than they deserve through the opening 13 minutes. Bramall Lane erupts in delight. Sheffield United 1, Leeds 0. Soon as the first ball came in, Leeds were really struggling. O'Hare with the initial header came back off the keeper and the bar. Campbell's first effort cleared off the line. His second bundled in, and it's the Blades who cut through and are the new league leaders as things stand.
Well, Campbell is simply a predator, as every striker should be. He's just waiting for this to fall. But before that, there's three magnificent bits of play. First of all, the cross from Brereton Diaz from the left-hand side, curling inwards. Then Callum O'Hare with just an outrageous, almost backwards header, just flicking it over the top of Meslier, who gets a hand to it. It's a stunning save to start with from the Leeds goalkeeper onto the crossbar and then down. But then you need the poacher. You need your forward alive. You need him just to want those easy goals, and he just heads it against the post. But then it hits Meslier and probably will go down as an own goal.
Mellier's momentum. Nothing he could do about that, really, as he was falling back towards his goal and the ball hit his right hand. Might just have been creeping in anyway after the touch off the bar. But I think he will go down as an Illan Meslier own goal, and Sheffield United leading Leeds by 1-0. As things stand right now, top of the championship, 73 points to Leeds 72. Long way to go. Here's Brereton Diaz. Good ball from him. Nice little reverse. Down towards Campbell. Campbell coming back to meet it. Exchanging passes with Burrows, who started this game really well. Brereton Diaz helping it on. Burrows scampering towards the dead ball line. Bringing the ball forward. Driving it right across the 6-yard box. Meslier again nowhere to be seen. But Raksaki couldn't get there to be able to tap it in for two.
You're right, Burrows has started well. Lovely underlapping run. Takes the touch, sees the dart from O'Hare at the near post. He misses it. You can't stand and watch, Raksaki. You cannot stand and watch. You have to make a decision. You either dart in front of your defender or you try and get in behind and expect the ball to be missed. He just stood and watched. That was an opportunity to tap in at the back post.
Wonder how significant a moment that might prove to be at the end of the night, even at the end of the season. Sheffield United leading by 1-0 here on TalkSport 2. Only the second time that Leeds defence has been breached in the last 8 league games. For the last time they went behind, they came back to win, of course, against Sunderland last weekend. They have only come back from 1-0 down to win twice out of the 9 occasions in which they've conceded first this season. Stroud plays it back for Meslier, and Mellier's just completely misdirected the ball, which was intended for Roden, and he's played it way behind him and straight out of play for another Sheffield United throw. And the cue again, you would imagine, for another long Robinson throw inside that penalty area. He was just waiting for permission almost from Chris Wilder. Now Robinson is given the ball by Burrows. And this is a really cheap concession of a very dangerous situation for Leeds United. 17 gone. 1-0 to the side from South Yorkshire against the side from West. Another long one launched inside the penalty area. No one too sure where it had gone. Fell behind Akbadodzic. He couldn't turn it in. Leeds thrash it away. Blades bring it forward again. Burrows, O'Hare on the edge of the penalty area. Callum O'Hare on the turn. Strauch ended up wearing it on the chin, but it was a vital block. Vinny Sosa picks up possession. He's laid it back for Clark. Clark with a quick change of direction out towards the Blades left. Such a fast, intense start to this game from Sheffield United through the opening 20 minutes, and they will certainly feel that they deserve the advantage given to them 5 minutes ago by that Meslier own goal. Here's Clark, defender on loan from Ipswich, playing it right back. Now the youngster Peck to O'Hare. Peck continues his run down the right-hand touchline. Raksaki's got possession, and the Palace loanee tries to bring it forward. He's then just caught his man, and it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Leeds over on the left-hand side. But listen to the ovation from the Sheffield United supporters, loving what they're seeing so far.
Yeah, I mean, look, we questioned the approach of Sheffield United and Chris Wilder's side before the game. Well, they've answered it. The intensity's just been superb. You know, even a quality Leeds side have really struggled so far.
Now Vinny Sosa's won the second ball this time. Raksaki back towards the edge of the area. Britton Diaz coming onto it. First shot was blocked, and then Meslier comes out and gathers as it ricochets back off the Chilean international. And Meslier can come and pick it up. It's all Sheffield United.
Oh, it is. It is. And again, that came from just pressure in the midfield, just intercepting as it's played into the Leeds players. They've got to recognise it out there, the Leeds players. Yes, of course you want to play and play through. It's not the time for it. Dan James, get yourself in behind. Solomon, get yourself in behind. Give your defenders an option just to peel that on the outside and just try and sit Sheffield United back a fraction.
Good ball forward from Strout. Clark marginally out of position. Solomon chasing, but it was really good covering from Akmadoljic to get it away. Sheffield United bringing it forward again. Campbell's touch a little bit heavy, and just allowed Strout the opportunity to come across and pick things up once more for Leeds. And the Boos tell you that it's Bogle on the ball again. 1-0 to the Blades. 20 minutes in. Leeds unbeaten in 18 Yorkshire derbies in the league since Sheffield Wednesday won at Ellen Road back in 2020. This would not be the time for that run to end. Joel Peru, who we've hardly mentioned, getting it wide. Solomon, good ball. Firpo pulling it back across the edge of the 6-yard box. Well defended Akmadoljic. And clear by Raksaki to halfway and safety. Campbell thought he was fouled. Nothing given. And it's a throw which will be taken over on the Leeds United left.
And that came from a decent knock over the top from Bogle towards James. Headed down into the midfield area where Perot then played it wide, and then the overlap from Firpo. But it was that initial just ball over the top that puts Sheffield United on the back foot, and if you can pick up the second ball, you can then play with your quality from there. It doesn't mean you have to completely change the way you play. It just means for 5 or 6 minutes, when you recognise the intensity of the opposition, that you put quality into the areas for your speedy forward players.
A possession at the moment, 60-40 to Leeds. But it's 4 shots without reply for Sheffield United. Tanaka working it into the heart of the midfield, where Peru just wanted a little bit more time than he had, and Vinny Sosa knocked it away from him. Bogle makes a good run forward. James will come in off the right-hand touchline and slip a really good ball down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Bogle can pick it up. Work back by him. Here's out Tanaka. A bargain signing he's proved to be from Dusseldorf. Now Bogle inside the penalty area. James goes down and just given a little shove, but it was legitimate from Vinny Sosa, who allows himself as he gets back to his feet. Just a little moment with the crowd. Clenched his fist, and they responded. 1-0 to Sheffield United as we approach the midway stage of the second half here on TalkSport 2.
He's turning into a really important, terrific player, Vinny Sousa, for Sheffield United. Defensively, he recognises where the danger is and steps in between centre-back and full-back, as he did there against Dan James. Powerful, ball-playing midfielder, and so important for them this season.
Ball out of play, it's a Leeds throw. As the clock ticks to the midway stage of this first half, it's raced by. Good header from Robinson, turning it away from Peru and straight back out of play for another throw, which will be taken on the Leeds United right. If you're just joining us, no Ethan Ampadu in the Leeds United side tonight. He's out with a knee injury, the severity of which is unknown at this stage. It's interesting, though, the matches that he started this season for Leeds, They've won 13 and lost only 1 out of 18. So 1 defeat in 18 when he started. When he's been missing, they've lost 4 out of 12, and they're trailing in this one. Blades get another ball forward. Meslier coming out, gathers on the edge of his penalty area. The lines of communication between him and Roden were effective enough. The play's going to have to stop as the ball was then played straight back out because there's a head injury for Vinny Sosa in the heart of the Sheffield United midfield.
Yes, I mean that's a decent sample size, isn't it, to see how important Ampadu is to this Leeds side. And I mean, the goal's been given as a Meslier own goal. I mean, Campbell reacts so well, so quickly, but it's such a tight angle. He just tries to head it in. It then skims off the inside of the post and then hits Meslier as he's scrambling back. Not a lot he can do. I mean, talk about the life of a goalkeeper these days. I mean, Meslier makes a stunning save, honestly, because it flashes off O'Hare's hair and he just gets a lovely touch. It hits the crossbar, hits the line, he keeps that out, he then turns, it kisses off the post and hits him and goes in, and has given us an own goal. And then he kicks one out of play because he's under pressure, because he's now asked to play as a quarterback, as a goalkeeper. It's not a life I envy, I'm not going to lie.
No, who'd be a goalkeeper? Daniel Farke upstairs. He's on the TV gantry, which is actually suspended in front of us here at Bramall Lane. So he's looking on. I don't think he's going to be too happy with what he's seen so far. It's Ed Reamer, his coach, who's down on the edge of the Leeds United technical area giving out the instructions. And Farke knows that there's room for improvement here. And Sosa's received this treatment. He's just got a bottle of water, which most of which is tipped onto his head. And now takes a swig, spits most of that out, and play resumes. The ball worked forward down the Leeds United left. They've won a throw. The Dominican Republic international Junior Firpo taking that throw, working it back for Struijk. Struijk to his right-hand side for Roden. And Roden comes down towards Dan James on the right-hand touchline. And he will come inside. Left-footed ball, nice shape on it, but just a little bit too far ahead of Manor Solomon. Clark probably had his number anyway. And the ball's beaten the pair of them and got out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Cooper. And the applause is for Sosa as he comes back onto the field. Sheffield United leading Leeds by 1-0. Some start to a hectic week of commentary action here on the TalkSport network. 10 games in week 27 of the Premier League season, and we have all 10 live for you on TalkSport, on TalkSport 2, and on Talk as well. And if you've got the app, it's very easy just to swipe between all the matches where they are. Here's Peck coming forward for Sheffield United. He didn't get hold of the shot. Now Melier able to dive to his left-hand side and make a comfortable save. Tomorrow on TalkSport, it's Chelsea against Southampton, kicking off at 8:15. On TalkSport 2, Palace Villa at 7:30. On Talk, it's Wolves Fulham. And on the TalkSport app, it's Brighton Bournemouth. And then we've got all 5 games on Wednesday, and Thursday's match between West Ham and Leicester as well. And that takes us through to Friday night and FA Cup action. And we'll also be bringing you Friday night here on TalkSport 2, Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland. It's a long-range effort, flies over the bar into the cop away to our right-hand side. Probably worth an attempt from Gruev, but not his best.
But it's their first, Leeds United. Yes, it's a poor effort. It's the first one they've had at the Sheffield United goal. We found it difficult to stay with Sheffield United's intensity and get their forward players into the game. I mean, Pirro, Aronson, can't remember you really mentioning their names in an attacking sense. They're having to do the defensive work still at the moment.
Now, Joel Peru's come into tonight with 4 goals in his last 4 league games, but he hasn't had a side of goal yet. Another long throw up the touchline from Robinson. Always seems to be able to propel the ball 40-50 yards with the absolute minimum of effort. Vinny Sosa Aronson snapping at his heels. Peck just calmly plays the way that he's facing from the centre of midfield for the Blades. Robinson turning it back to his goalkeeper. Cooper back out for Robinson, who's got time to take the second touch that he needed. And then he goes back to the former Plymouth custodian again. Out from him, brought down on the left-hand side by Burrows, and then Sosa's ball in behind Brereton Diaz, straight out of play into the Sheffield United dugout for a Leeds United throw. 27 gone. Sheffield United 1, Leeds 0. And that scoreline is probably a fair representation of what we've seen so far, Dean.
Definitely. Yeah, it's been a really good start from Sheffield United. Just a couple of times, Tyrese Campbell, he's been a little bit loose in possession. It's not what you want when you've got a side like Leeds that'll then keep the ball after that. You've got to be neat and tidy as a forward when the ball comes into you, back to goal.
But almost out of nothing here, Leeds win their first corner. As the ball was played in by Bogle. And it ricocheted off the nearest Sheffield United man and spun down towards the dead ball line. And it goes out for a corner that Manor Solomon, the Israeli, will come across to take. He's raised his right arm above his head. 6 Leeds players inside that penalty area. A little near post flick header straight at Cooper, who was able to make the save. It was Gruev that had made that near post run. I don't think it was his intention to try and get that on target. He was just trying to help it on for somebody behind him. He didn't quite get the angle right, but it kept Cooper honest, and he made a sharp movement to his left and was able to catch it.
Well, he may well have made that very difficult for Cooper if that had been closer to the inside of the post, because Cooper was really stepping out and off his goal line, not really expecting that near post flashed corner. Gruev just flicking it into his hands rather than down and in towards the near post, but cleverly worked from Leeds.
Robinson. Now Peck. And City Peck has done brilliantly to turn that forward towards Brereton Diaz, and a nice reverse ball from him as well. Campbell left-hand side of the area, across the 6-yard box. O'Hare coming in, couldn't bundle it towards goal. It was flicked away off the retreating Firpo, and out for another corner.
Yeah, Firpo does really well. Brereton Diaz, nice early pass for Tyrese Campbell's running behind. That's where he looks strong and dangerous. And then Firpo does incredibly well. I think it's the outside of his left foot, just around Callum O'Hare's body, to just flick it away. Raksaki was there to tap in if he'd have missed that.
Goes out for a Blades corner, half an hour in. Sheffield United's second corner of the night. The youngest man on the Blades team, Peck, across to take it. Flighted in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, easily volley clear. Back in from Raksaki, but too much on that. And it's sailed over Akhmedhodzic. And out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Ilan Melier. Leeds trailing. Their last league defeat came at Blackburn back in November. They're unbeaten in 15 since then, in which they've scored 5 times as many goals as they've conceded. They're trailing here 1-0 to a 14th minute Ilan Melier own goal. Strauk for Leeds in all yellow tonight, kicking from left to right towards the Kop in this first half. Firpo trying to pull the ball back towards the penalty spot. Second ball in from Gruev. That one easily cleared as well. Tanaka heading it forward. James, don't think he quite read it. He's just caught on his heels a moment. And Akhmedhodzic can shepherd it back to his goalkeeper, Cooper.
Yeah, it's not been great movement from the front four when it's been wide. That's 3 times now Firpo has got down the left and looked to play a cross in and not really had many options. You can't play it in with height either, because you've got Akhmedhodzic and Robinson that are just going to win it against Biro and Dan James and Solomon and Aronson. So they're looking to play that low. The movement needs to be really good then.
Melier playing out from the back. Roden to Bogle. Bogle back to the heart of the Leeds United defence. Tanaka just dropping in again between Roden and Strauk, as Dean was detailing earlier. Now Strauk will work it down the Leeds United left for Firpo. Raksaki was back in defensive duty, and he's conceded the throw. Lots of players on loan here at Sheffield United at the moment, with Clark and Raksaki and Brereton Diaz in the starting lineup tonight, and Chowdhury and Holding on the bench. Well, they've also got Gilchrist and Suter on loan, but you can only have 5 in any given matchday squad. Tanaka laid up the left-hand touchline. Leeds able to Dart through the midfield. Solomon has done really well. Played in towards the right-hand side of the box for Dan James onto his left foot. The approach play was great. The finish, less so. Cut across it. It sails high and harmlessly wide.
I mean, he's so sharp when he gets in those positions, Dan James. Sometimes he can rush it. This season, he's really improved that aspect of his game. He's looked more composed. There, it was a little bit rushed. It was a little bit snatched, the way he just cut inside onto his left foot and then tried to hit it straight away. Got it horribly wrong and up and over. I just felt as if Aronson, if he was more confident in that number 10 role, he could have taken that on his back foot and taken the strike himself. He actually passed it on towards Dan James rather than trying to finish himself.
And then Aronson losing out in the midfield. Sosa got it past him. He was then fouled by Tanaka. And it's a free kick to Sheffield United on halfway. Referee tonight, incidentally, is David Webb, who's got a reputation for keeping his cards in his pocket. He hasn't shown a red since October 2023, when he actually sent off Asmir Begovic against Leeds United. And no hint of a yellow card tonight. We welcome listeners from Talk Sport to Bramall Lane. Sheffield United leading 1-0. And a really good value for it. It's an Ilham Meslier own goal that is the difference between the two. Meslier very unlucky, having made a stunning save from an O'Hare flick header. That ricocheted down. Campbell then headed that onto the post. And Meslier, as he was falling back, saw the ball hit his right hand as he tried to pour it away. His momentum took him and the ball over the line. Sheffield United, the better side prior to the goal. Leeds have offered very little as an attacking entity since then. Dean Ashton alongside me. I think Chris Wilder will be thrilled with what he's seen so far, not least with the scoreline, which puts Sheffield United back to the top of the table.
Yeah, and absolutely in the right way. Their intensity and aggression has been exactly what we should have seen from Sheffield United early in this game, to test Leeds, to not allow them to settle into their possession-based football, not allow the front four, that speedy front four that Leeds have got, to have much room and much space to manoeuvre. It's meant they've pegged Leeds back and put the pressure on them.
Yeah, Leeds have had the majority of possession, probably just short of 2/3 of it, but Sheffield United have had 2/3 of the attempts, and they've looked very potent. Burrows with a long ball forward here. Britton Diaz chasing after it. Jayden Bogle heads that away against his old club. Turned back by Vinny Sosa. Suspicion of a push on Campbell on the edge of the penalty area. Leeds making a meal of getting it away. Can do so now. If you got the TalkSport app, it's really easy to swipe between TalkSport and TalkSport 2 and keep abreast of all of the action here in this thrilling Yorkshire derby. As Solomon plays in James inside the area. Right-footed effort that is easily blocked by Burrows. James had a sighter a couple of moments ago and hit that one high and wide. That one blocked. He's got it again on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Good reverse ball. Bogle getting to the byline. Ball in from him. Should be easily cleared by Robinson. And it is. Play continues on TalkSport 2. It's Sheffield United 1, Leeds 0 with 9 to go to half-time.
Beautiful interplay, wasn't it? Into the feet of Aronson. Bogle with the third man run, just flick round the corner to him. Again, though, not been able to pick out anyone in a yellow shirt yet tonight from those wide areas.
So Leeds have it again in the midfield. Work back towards Stroud. Stroud down towards Solomon, who was an injury down ahead of this game after the ankle knot that he picked up in the last match. Peru on the edge of the penalty area, trying to lay it off. Aronson, rescued the situation to keep the ball alive, but he hadn't read Peru's touch. Now James will try and get past Burrows. Sends a high steepling ball inside the box. It's really good commanding goalkeeping from Cooper, who came out and caught it about 8-9 yards out off his line. Excellent handling under pressure. And the lead remains intact with 8 to go to the break.
Yeah, you just can't do that. You can't float it aerially, because if the two centre-backs don't head it, Cooper will come out and claim the way he did there. Again, because it's so tight and congested, if you're Perot or Aronson, you've got to be almost a step ahead when that ball gets played into you. That ball got played in brilliantly from Solomon. Lovely footwork. Fed it into Perot. He needs to, in 2 moves, just shift it and shoot from the edge of the area. Didn't even cross his mind. just then played it back to the midfield players, and then it gets recycled again. You've got to be nice and sharp around the edge of the area when it's tight.
No side scored more often the first goal in championship matches this season than Sheffield United. They have done it on 23 occasions, and they've gone on to win 20. They did blow a 2-0 lead against Queen's Park Rangers here. They dropped points against West Brom and Coventry as well, but that's been it. They have won 20 of the 23 games in which they've scored first. They've won more games than anybody else in the division. They're the only team that have won 2/3 of their matches so far, and they lead this one deservedly by a goal to nil. Tanaka turning in the midfield. Played back by the dark-haired, thick-set Dutchman Strap. Joe Rodon, the Welsh international, coming forward over halfway. Tanaka showing for the ball to his left-hand side, and that's the pass that is eventually played. And Tanaka taking a touch, working to his left. Stroud getting his foot underneath it. Peach of a ball over the top for Solomon. Solomon turning, right-footed, straight at Cooper. That's Leeds' best move of the game. And there's an immediate inquest from the Sheffield United defenders, looking across at assistant referee Konstantin Hatzidakis, because they felt that Solomon was offside, but the flag stayed down, and he should have done better.
Oh, he should have done better, that's for sure. The run's perfect, though. Clark is just not even looking at him. He just runs off the back of him, and also Burrows is behind his two centre-backs, which cannot happen, and plays him onside. He takes a brilliant first touch. He kills it instantly in front of him, and actually, if I'm being honest, he should just square this to Perrault. Perrault's absolutely furious with him after it gets into Cooper's hands, because he should just play it across for his striker to tap in. Instead he cuts inside, and it's a weak effort straight at the goalkeeper.
Well, Leeds will be disappointed with the way that this game is going, but the last 5 or 6 minutes has certainly been Leeds' best 5 or 6 minutes of the game. And the shot count, which was markedly in the Blades' favour at one stage, is now almost dead level again. Better chances being created now by Leeds United, but just the 2 shots on target so far. Sheffield United 1, Leeds 0. And free kick the Blades will take 5 yards inside their own half, over on the far touchline. It's rolled short for Peck. And then Clark goes back for Ahmedhodzic to his goalkeeper Cooper. Cooper out towards Robinson, immediately told by the crowd of the impending presence of James, but his low scuff clearance only fell for Gruev, and the Macedonian's been able to get it forward. Solomon, first time ball inside the box, straight into the hands of Cooper.
And you can just tell, because the intensity's dropped from Sheffield United, so difficult to keep it going for the whole half. Leeds have sensed that. They've started to press a little higher with a bit more intensity themselves to win the ball back. And then Solomon, it's twice now he's got into the game on that left-hand side against Clark.
Cooper getting the ball forward, Rodon heads it away. Brought down in the back by Robinson. High up and under for him. Brenton Diaz leaving it for O'Hare, who's had to cause all the problems in the immediate build-up to the goal. Vinisosa, great skill, just rolled the studs of his right boot over the top of the ball, toe poked it forward, took a Leeds player out of the picture in the process, but Tanaka can then pick it up much deeper. Strout looking long again, and that ball for Solomon round the back of Clark is beginning to give Leeds some joy. He's got it again, works the angle, right-footed effort. Robinson is there to block. Ahmedhodzic, I beg your pardon, just ducked into the shot, and the boos you can hear again for a flag that stayed down when Sheffield United thought that he was offside, Manor Solomon. Having a look at the replay, it's not even close, he's 4 yards on.
Oh, he is, yeah, he completely bamboozles Clark with his movement. 3 darting moves to then spin in behind. He's well onside. Again, he does brilliantly just to cut inside onto his right foot, strikes it well. Ahmedhodzic, brave and brilliant defending to make sure he's in the line of where he thinks Solomon is going to strike, gets his head in the way.
I mean, Solomon was very close with Clark, but Robinson had played him on by some distance. The flag comes up now, and you can hear the ironic cheers, but Kon Hatzidakis, who's running the line, hasn't made a mistake yet.
No, he hasn't. And really, they should be venting that anger towards a couple of defenders that have just not kept themselves in that defensive line. You've got to be switched on even when the ball's nowhere near you. You've got to be ready for that ball to just be swung in behind. Keep that defensive line, that concentration.
So Cooper drives it forward. Vinny Sosa gets his head to it. O'Hare trying to turn away. And can do that. Former Coventry man nudging it to his left. 2 to go to half-time. Probably around 2 or 3 to be added on, I would imagine. Vinny Sosa to Brereton Diaz. He can come into a more central area. Just plays the ball to Peck. Sosa will take over. Right on the corner of the box. Back from Peck. Forward for Burrows. Burrows coming in off the left-hand side, lends it to O'Hare. O'Hare actually turned the other way. Leeds will clear. Peck is in there. Aronson trying to shepherd it out, and it's a good decision to do it because the referee has found in his favour. He said the last touch came off a man in red and white. No complaints actually from either Peck or Brereton Diaz. Leeds taking the throw. Ball work back for Meslier. No real significant pressure on him from Campbell, which allows the Frenchman the chance to get it out towards Strauch. Junior Firpo making a darting run down the left-hand side as this time Solomon just drops in behind him to pick up the ball. Roden down towards Jaden Bogle. Crowd have almost tired of booing him when the ball is played to the Leeds United right back. Only almost. Still the odd isolated murmur of discontent. James drops his shoulder. Oh, he's done really well. Got past Burrows and Brereton Diaz, but the cross was blocked. And Burrows will play the ball up the left-hand touchline off Tanaka and out of play for a throw that Sheffield United will take. Undoubtedly, the longer the half has gone on, the better Leeds have got. They've slowly been able to warm to their task team.
They have the growing confidence, but also I think it's coincided with Sheffield United's intensity dropping. And Dan James there, just good old-fashioned push and run. Just use that electric pace that you've got to get yourself in behind. But again, it's been pretty disappointing from wide areas from Leeds United. Didn't have many options. Hero had stopped his run on the penalty spot looking for the cutback, but there was no one else really in there for Dan James to find.
Well, you're not missing anything here because Clark is down injured for Sheffield United. The Blades have sent a couple of substitutes out to warm up, including Rob Holding. We go into 3 minutes of added time. Those 3 minutes won't start until play resumes. Clark is okay because he's being led off towards the far touchline. The Sheffield United right back rather than this near side where the benches are. So they're obviously pretty confident they can at least get him through the 3 remaining minutes of the first half and then give him some further medical assessment at the break. 1-0 to Sheffield United, and significant that Chris Wilder just wanted to get his players around him whilst there was that break in play. So make sure that they know what they're doing here to try and stem the Leeds flow a little bit more effectively than they've done over the last 10 minutes to keep the lead intact towards half-time. Another prodigiously long throw from Robinson, but miscontrolled by Brereton Diaz. And he goes over the line and out of play for a throw that Jaden Bogle will take for Leeds. Back from him to the edge of his own penalty area and then worked for by Roden for Strout. Now out towards Firpo. Clark is asking for permission to come back on. That's now granted. It's been off the obligatory 30. It did look for a moment as though Leeds might be able to break down that side whilst he wasn't on the field, but the Blades have got their defensive shape back behind the ball. Strout to Roden. Roden forced to go all the way back from Meslier on the edge of the D.
And they've just, as Tanaka now looks to try and drop in, it's Peck that's at times gone all the way in with him just to stop them playing out as easily as they have done.
So much of the attacking play gravitating down the Leeds United left. It does so again here with Solomon, who survived the handball shout, but Raksaki's been able to play the ball off him anyway for a throw that Sheffield United will take. We're midway through the 3 additional minutes, which are going to be elongated ever so slightly. Great game. Sheffield United 1, Leeds 0. The drama, the tension, not necessarily full of a real glut of goal-scoring opportunities, but never really anticipated that would be the case. Cooper driving this forward. So much jeopardy, you can feel it oozing through every pore. Vinny Sosa, maybe a little bit unlucky that he's got a free kick going against him as just was judged to have pulled Aronson back. Leeds get it forward quickly. Solomon and Firpo combining again on the Leeds United left. It's the far touchline as we look at it. Sliding in, Vinny Sosa wins it back. Peck is able to take control. Lovely, cultured midfielder whenever he's in possession. He's got such a clever eye for a pass. And he just played a little reverse, no-look ball down towards Vinny Sosa. Almost breaks Clark's way, coming up the left-hand touchline. Burrows will be able to take over now for Sheffield United, down by the corner flag. Trying to backheel his way out of trouble. Britton Diaz wins the second. Little reverse ball in, and Peck just lost his footing as he tried again. He was maybe a little bit too far ahead of him anyway. Leeds will get it forward quickly. Chance for one last first-half attack for Daniel Farke's men. Aronson taking it on inside the box, wins a corner, and Leeds have an opportunity, a very, very late set piece.
Yeah, and it's just that pace, isn't it, that they've got. If you leave a couple of gaps, they will counter-attack into them, Leeds, with Aronson this time receiving the pass, looking to cross, brilliant block. Putting themselves under pressure, Sheffield United, though.
In comes this Leeds corner, swung in, it's cleared, half cleared. Britton Diaz can do the rest, and in getting it out of the penalty area, the referee says that'll do, it's half time. And over the whole piece, Sheffield United will feel that the 1-0 advantage is deserved. Much the better side over the opening 25 minutes. Leeds have probably shaded it over the last 20. But it is Sheffield United that have the advantage after that Ilham Melier own goal on 14. Sheffield United 1, Leeds United 0. And if it stays that way, the Blades will be back on top of the championship tonight. Well, you remember that Harry Clark picked up a knock at the end of the first half for Sheffield United, and he hasn't reappeared. Hamza Chowdhury has come on to replace him. The player on loan from Leicester has only made one Premier League start this season. He can play as a defensive-minded midfielder, can play at right back, so he's not a fish out of water. And he's come on for Clark. No changes for Leeds. It will be Sheffield United kicking from left to right towards the Kop in their famous red and white striped shirts. Will get us back underway. Leeds in their change kit of all yellow. And they're kicking from right to left as they try and turn this around. Leeds have taken 10 points this season when losing at half-time. That's the most in the championship along with Coventry. And they need to try and launch another salvage act here. 1-0 to the Blades, who had the first 6 attempts of the day, and Leeds have had the subsequent 6. First opportunity for a long Jack Robinson throw in this second half. And Sheffield United getting everybody, pretty much everybody apart from Chowdhury Ford, in readiness for this. Robinson standing motionless by the hoardings over on the far touchline, just waiting whilst the referee goes and inspects a little bit of the pushing and shoving and general shenanigans going on in behind goalkeeper Ilham Melier, who just walks away now, and he's being spoken to by the referee, but the Blades doing everything they can to make his life difficult.
I mean, look, they've targeted him from every single set play so far. Aksaki is just standing in front of him. Melier's getting annoyed and pushing him. They're trying to put him under severe pressure.
So in comes the throw now. An arch of the back, hurled inside the penalty area. Strout heads it, hit one of his teammates. It's cleared though, out towards Hamza Chowdhury. And Chowdhury heads it forward. Vinny Sosa just trying to dink a little clever, cheeky ball over the top. There's a push there by Bogle. The referee says no, play on, and it'll be a goal kick to Leeds United. You're listening to Sheffield United Leeds in the EFL Championship. It's live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus, participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. Sheffield United leading 1-0 as they have done for the last 35 minutes. It's another throw to them. Chowdhury will take it. In front of us, we're situated 10 yards inside the half that Sheffield United are attacking. Chowdhury just dropping the ball short for Vinny Sosa, who almost sold Chowdhury short with a return ball. He hastily had to just toe poke it forward, and he couldn't find a teammate as a result of that. Goal kick that Leeds will take with Melier, and they've got work to do.
Naturally, they'll want to keep the momentum they've already started with Sheffield United. Tanaka for me is such a key player with the way that Sheffield United have been set up. When he was getting free in between the two centre-backs, it really opened up the Leeds team, gave them genuine width with the two full-backs nice and high. It's something that Sheffield United will have to try and stop.
And you talked about them trying to prevent it with Peck playing a little bit further forward and detailing Tanaka, not allowing those three when they're trying to build up have as much possession as they've been having.
But then you leave Vinny Souza on his own in midfield for Aronson and Perrault just to drift either side of, and then Leeds, if they do get out, they've got the space then.
Leeds, for their part, need to get Joel Perrault involved in the game a lot more. He only had 8 touches in that first 45 minutes. Another Sheffield United throw down the far touchline. So they look to try and build on this lead. Peck heading the ball on. Roden turning it back for his goalkeeper. Meslier can clear. He was leaning back when he drove it forward, so it didn't make halfway. Sheffield United win the seconds. Help forward. Strout can get that away. Raksaki now losing out to Gruev, claiming he was fouled, and then Peck in really strongly on Solomon. Now it's gone out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Leeds United left. The benches could be very significant on the Leeds bench. Rothwell, Ramazani, Joseph and Giavogi, Byram, Nyonto, Schmidt and DeBeo. For Sheffield United, it's McCallum, Holding, Brewster, Harmer, Moore, Davis and Cannon. And Chowdhury's already on. Solomon nudging the ball back and trying to drive the ball inside the penalty area. It was blocked by the other number 14, Hamza Chowdhury, straight out of play for another throw that'll be taken on the Leeds United left. Jim Proudfoot and the former England striker Dean Ashland here on a mild Bramall Lane night. Gorgeous day in the Steel City today. And we're 5 minutes into the second half with Sheffield United still leading, as they've done since the 14th minute. Here is Tanaka. And there was O'Hare putting the pressure on him. Meslier coming out, mopping up outside his penalty area. Nudged forward towards Strauch. Gruev, back for Strauch again. Raksaki trying to apply the press. Vinny Souza then heads the loose ball away. Peck helping it on. Brenton Diaz chasing after it. Bogle's played his way into trouble. Roden bails him out. But Peck will be able to pick up the loose ball in the midfield. Back it goes from him to Burrows, and he wins the throw off James.
Oh, fractions, wasn't it there from Brenton Diaz to get himself away. Rodon sliding in with impeccable timing. And if you're Solomon, you've seen off one full-back and you've got Hamza Chowdhury coming into that role. It's not his favoured role. I'd be getting the ball out to Solomon at every opportunity to test him.
Meanwhile, it's the Leeds left-back Firpos having an examination here, although O'Hare and Peck weren't quite on the same wavelength. So when it was nudged one side of Firpo, the run didn't come the other, which had been anticipated by O'Hare. And it was easy for Leeds to get it away. They haven't got possession for long, though, and the Blades are going to be able to work it back over on the far touchline there left. They lead 1-0 here on TalkSport 2. And on the TalkSport network, we got all 10 live games from Premier League match week 27, starting tomorrow, going through Thursday. Tomorrow, Chelsea Southampton on TalkSport, Palace Villa on TalkSport 2, Wolves Fulham on Talk Radio, Brighton Bournemouth on the TalkSport app. And let me also point you in the direction, I know it's still 3 weeks or so away, the Sheffield derby at Hillsborough. It's the same day as the League Cup final. United going to Wednesday, north of the city from here. And it's a 12:30 kickoff here on TalkSport 2. We'll bring you the League Cup final. Liverpool in action against Newcastle that same day at 4:30 on TalkSport. Chowdhury sliding in, gets the ball away. Gruev can pick it up. Ed Rima, the Leeds United number 2, who's doing all the gesticulating in Daniel Farke's absence, wasn't happy with a challenge there. Gruev able to knock it forward here, and Chowdhury again can just side-foot it calmly away. Sosa with a lovely drop of the shoulder opens things up. Brenton Diaz, it's got Campbell making a run ahead of him. Campbell trying to take it past Meslier, who then slid forward and I think did really well to stop himself carrying the ball outside the penalty area.
Very well. He just made sure that his torso slid past the ball but his hands curled inwards towards his body just to keep that ball inside the area. Obviously the crowd behind Meslier can't see the fact that he'd kept that in.
Now James has won the ball back at the other end. He's gone down inside the penalty area. Referee says no penalty. It's right in front of the Leeds fans, and he was adamant that James wasn't fouled. Vinny Sosa's really angry because he thinks it was a dive, and the referee's just going to allow play to restart with a goal kick.
Well, it was a mess from Robinson, just thinking he can run the ball out. Didn't take the ball with him. Dan James then gets himself in between the ball and Robinson, but it's a horrific attempt at trying to win a penalty. It's a pathetic dive from Dan James. He's just felt a tiny bit of contact and thrown himself to the floor, and I'm not surprised a couple of the Sheffield United players have not asked why they've asked for a yellow card.
Should it have been a yellow?
Yes, it should, absolutely. It's trying to completely deceive the referee, David Webb.
Robinson plays the ball forward. Just cleared Campbell. Roden getting it back for Meslier. Mellier's first touch took him a little bit wider than he wanted to go, and O'Hare's eyes lit up for a moment. Meslier was able to get the ball clear, but he's put it straight out of play for a throw to Sheffield United. And the head of steam, it was only a lukewarm head of steam, but it was a head of steam nevertheless that Leeds were beginning to build up towards the end of the first half. That's dissipated in this second half because the Blades are back in pretty much in control again.
Yeah, rested and rejuvenated, aren't they, after half time? I just felt as if Campbell was going to get there first before Meslier, but just seemed to sort of hesitate for a split second.
Cooper's got the ball at the other end, and he'll just bowl it out for Ahmedhodzic. This is Leeds' final game away from home against top 8 opposition this season. They've only got 2 matches left after tonight against top 10 sides, when West Brom and Bristol City both go to Elland Road. Sheffield United, for their part, have got 5 more matches against top 10 sides. They've got to go to Sheffield Wednesday. As I mentioned earlier, they've also got to go to Burnley. There's no doubt that Leeds have the easier run-in. And Sheffield United, as things stand right now, have a 1-point lead at the top of the division. And remember, a Leeds equaliser, and they're back 2 points clear again. Most significant as far as Sheffield United are concerned tonight, it's not the difference necessarily between them and Leeds, it's the difference between them and Burnley. And they're 5 points above the Clarets as things stand right now. Meslier controlling the ball with his left foot inside his own penalty area, playing it out towards Strout. And Leeds fans finding their voice, and ironic cheers from the Sheffield United end as they do so. Roden taking a touch, trying to get away from O'Hare, nudging the ball to his left. Lovely turn in possession by Aronson, and the American, all hustle and bustle, lays it to the left-hand side for Junior Firpo. He'll bring the ball into a central area and then switch it very quickly back out to the left for Manor Solomon. Solomon to Aronson. Leeds are going to be making a double change in a moment. We're going to see Matteo Joseph come on, and also Joe Rothwell. Strauch towards Aronson. Aronson trying to bustle his way through. He's lost it, and Ragsaki can get past it. Then Aronson tried to foul him. The referee's played the advantage, then got in the way. Aronson comes clattering in, and it's going to be a free kick to Sheffield United as Vinny Sosa is upended.
He really doesn't want to get that. Has he forgotten his cards? I mean, that was a pretty industrial tackle from Aronson. Didn't get the ball. Vinny Sosa goes over the top, but no card to be seen.
Well, I was talking to Alan Biggs, Talk Sports reporter from this part of the world earlier, who's a very keen student of officiating. And he pointed out that David Webb's card average is really low, abnormally low. Not suggesting that there was anything wrong with that, but he was just making the point that he is a referee who keeps his cards in his pocket. We mentioned earlier he's not produced a red for 14 months. The Leeds have made the double change. Rothwell has come on, and Matteo Joseph is on as well. Aronson has come off, and Gruev is off as well. So Peru's going to play that little bit deeper now, and Joseph will take up the most advanced role. Sheffield United are going to counter with a double change of their own in a minute. I can see Tom Cannon being spoken to. Looks like Gus Harmer, who's down there getting instructions as well. We'll play 58 minutes. Sheffield United 1, Leeds United 0 here on TalkSport 2. Blades free kick for the foul on Sosa. Work down towards Raksaki. Taking on and beating Solomon, and then checking back inside and beating him again. Left-footed ball curved inside the box. Took a little flick. And then Akmadojic at the far post, leaning back. Oh, it was Robinson, I beg your pardon, leaning back. And he couldn't get that bruised, cut head to it to be able to steer it effectively towards goal.
Yeah, we haven't seen a huge amount, have we, of Raksaki being able to drive 1v1 against a Leeds player. But when he does, he tends to get the beating of the defender. And that was another decent ball in. But got flicked on, and then Robinson just trying to react, couldn't change direction quickly enough, and it just skimmed off his head and wide.
And that's Raksaki's last contribution of the night, because Gus Harmer's going to come on to replace him. A big ovation for Raksaki as he leaves the field. A bigger one for Tyrese Campbell as he comes off. Hasn't scored his 50th senior goal tonight, but was instrumental in Sheffield United having the lead and the Meslier own goal. So Cannon for Campbell and Harmer for Raksaki. And Bryn Diaz has come from the left wing to the right to accommodate that change, and Harmer's in his favoured role over on the left-hand side of the floor. It's 4-4-2 now for Sheffield United.
Yeah, I wondered how long Wilder would give Harmer in particular. I thought he was outstanding against Middlesbrough here 2 games ago. An influence that he can have, and his link with O'Hare is absolutely terrific to watch.
Yeah, he got injured in that game late on, and so he was left out for the win at Luton, just as a precaution. Last time out, ball swept inside the area for Firpo, who made his way forward, but he was like a diver trying to topple off the high board at your local municipal baths. It was all arms going, a cartoon character on the edge of a cliff, couldn't keep his balance. He's hit his head and gone way over the bar.
I mean, that is the benefit of a left-back ending up in the middle of the penalty area, because he's not going to be picked up. You're not expecting him to be there. Finds himself completely free. The cross is flashed in from Tanaka, and you're right. His body position, the first couple of steps he made just looked all wrong, and then it just bounced straight off the top of his head and into the crowd behind. It's like he wasn't ready for it, even though he was in there to try and attack it.
Harmer's played the ball forward. Cannon chases after it. He's still waiting for his first goal for Sheffield United after his £10 million move from Leicester. He's netted 11 this season on loan at Stoke. Well, this will be a fine time from a Blades perspective for him to open his account. Here's Bryn Diaz, who's got a couple in this loan spell. Back from him to Chowdhury, in towards Peck. Peck playing it back towards halfway. Akmadojic will bring the ball under control in his orange boots. O'Hare working it forward. It's Peck! Oh, just taken off his toes by Tanaka. He's just about to shoot. It was a brilliant piece of defending from the Japanese international, and probably saved the goal.
I mean, it was the way he spotted the late run from Peck was brilliant from Tanaka. Just off his left shoulder. He didn't just stand and watch. Got himself back in, because it was a terrific 1- and 2-touch move from Sheffield United. 3 or 4 players involved. And very, very close to Peck being able to get a shot away. Tanaka, excellent.
Vinny Sosa. And he can just protect the ball and get it away from Tanaka. He's run down a blind alley, though, so he's been forced to play the ball back for Burrows. Gets it back, though, Sosa, on halfway, and chips a inch-perfect ball down for Bryn Diaz. Takes a step back, controls it on his solar plexus, brings the ball forward onto his left foot, nudges it, right-footed effort. Meslier dives down to his left-hand side, and Vinny Sosa's effort is comfortably caught.
Yeah, I mean, Bryn Diaz made a mess of that in the end. He didn't really attack Firpo with the pace and quality and confidence that you need. And once he checked back inside and it ricocheted towards Vinny Sosa, he thought he'd have a shot, looking for the curling effort. not really enough power or direction to trouble him, Elliot.
And still looking for his first goal here at Bramall Lane. It's the one in Blades colours, which came at Luton this time last year. Cooper slides to the right-hand side of his penalty area, is able to pick up a loose ball. We played 18 minutes of the second half. Sheffield United leading Leeds by a goal to nil here on Talk Sport 2. It was Strauch and Joseph that got the goals for Leeds here on Talk Sport 2, and the two sides met back in October. 2 goals in the last 20 minutes, and if they can repeat that tonight, Leeds, they will win. But at the moment, it's Sheffield United that have the advantage. Leeds, I beg your pardon, outstanding second half record in games this season, as the Blades try and get Tom Cannon inside the box. They've outscored their opponents, Leeds, in the second half of games by 40-8 in the second half of matches over the course of this season. They've scored nearly as many goals in the second half of games as the Blades have all told. Sheffield United leading this tonight. Here's Peru towards the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area. Just able to help the ball on towards Solomon. Peck in there very strongly, got caught, and that was a poor challenge. And just to prove that he hasn't left his cards at home, we are going to see the first of the night. Without Tanaka with the challenge with Peru, the referee is going to call Tanaka over. And number 22 is the first number to be written on Davy Webb's card tonight.
And it's probably not a yellow card. He doesn't do a lot. He steps in, but actually it's the follow through from Burrows, who looks to clear. He then follows right through in towards Tanaka. Tanaka obviously can't get out of the way, and that's what he's trying to say, but picks up a yellow card.
7th yellow card of the season for the Japanese international. £3 million signing from Fortuna Dusseldorf last summer. Clearance from our left-hand side from Cooper. Ball headed on by Britton Diaz. Piqued the interest of Tom Cannon for a moment. Strout comes across and deals with it. Puts it out of play. A throw which will be taken right in front of one of the television cameramen. And Robinson, who's got quite an appreciable cut just to the left of his left eye, comes over to retrieve the ball. Ball boy sits back down on a white stool, and Robinson takes 4 paces forward towards the touchline and sends another one of these flat throws towards the penalty spot. It's cleared, chipped back over the top by Harmer, headed back down by Britton Diaz. Then Sosa's touch let him down. Leeds will look to break quickly, but Harmer actually jumped over the ball that was played forward to make sure that it didn't hit him and ricochet James's way. And he's let it go all the way through towards Cooper. Cooper's first time ball forward. Firpo heads that back through the midfield, where Peru has got plenty of time and space in order to bring it under control. Leeds will motor forward. Bogle is taking a deflection into the hands of goalkeeper Cooper, but maybe off the arm of a Sheffield United player. That was the call from the Leeds supporters.
And it definitely did hit his arm, Burrows, as it was crossed in from Bogle. His arms, well, you'd say it's slightly away, a sort of half chicken wing type elbow that's sticking out of the side of Burrows' body. Not enough for me, though, to be a penalty.
There's Bogle, as you can tell. Didn't get very far, as you can tell. Throw, which Leeds will take. With the former Sheffield United man, 20 yards inside his half. Leeds kicking from right to left in all yellow. And midway through the second half, as near as makes no difference here on TalkSport 2. And still, Sheffield United lead after that Ilham Meslier own goal. The Frenchman really unlucky, having made a top draw save from O'Hare just a moment or two before it. Peck in strongly, wins it back. O'Hare. On the Leeds bench, they thought that Peck went in over the top of the ball there. Referee didn't. He's let it go. And still, Callum O'Hare has possession over on the far touchline. Ball back by him. Leeds won it back temporarily, and Sosa reading the situation. Almost like he had a sixth sense. He's got there ahead of anybody else. Anticipated that perhaps Burrows was going to lose it, and he quickly won it back in the blink of an eye. Peck getting it for Britton Diaz. Maybe having his shirt pulled. Firpo plays it forward off Peck. Out for a Leeds throw.
I mean, how good have Peck and Vinny Sousa been? They've been outstanding, the pair of them, because at times, because O'Hare goes and presses, they're against three in there. The energy, the quality, the intensity they've shown has been outstanding from the pair of them.
Now that was a rumbustious challenge over on the far touchline that's going to result in a yellow card for Gus Harmer. Ever so slightly late, as the ball was nudged past him by Bogle, and he went in and didn't quite get the legs either side of Bogle's kneecaps, but he was in there strongly.
And the fact he turns to the referee and says, "Come on, it's my first challenge." It really doesn't matter when you clean somebody out on the touchline like he did there.
It'll be his penultimate challenge if he perpetrates another one like that. The ball is on the left-hand side of the box. Leeds working it inside the penalty area. Ahmedhodzic is there to knock it away after a good curving ball from Solomon. And it goes out for a throw that'll be taken over on the Leeds right-hand side. Gus Harmer's not got a great disciplinary record. That was his 11th yellow card of the season. And I think he was up in double figures last year as well. Got an opportunity to bring it forward here with Rothwell. Leeds United getting it wide. Mateo Joseph waiting by the penalty spot. The ball fired in his direction. Cleared again by Ahmedhodzic. And then chested down on the edge of his penalty area and volleyed away by Harmer. Chasing after it is Cannon. Strout heads it out towards the touchline, and the ball goes over the line and out for a Sheffield United throw. I think Cannon wanted a free kick. It is a throw. Now the referee has been very consistent. He's let plenty go, as we've been saying, but that wasn't beyond the parameters that have already been laid down.
It only seems a small thing, but it's really important. Simply turning it head down, sprinting just to win a throw-in for your side as a forward up there from a long, hopeful ball.
Leeds able to bring it forward again. Over on the right-hand touchline. Solomon waiting in the middle. Cross not good enough to find him, but it's deflected away. And it's Leeds that have the first corner of the second half with only 20 minutes of the game remaining.
They've been so poor so far in this game, Leeds, when they've got the ball wide and had the opportunity to cross. I can't really think of a time when they've properly found a teammate in the area for a chance. Every time it's been defended well, or it's just hit the first man.
Rothwell to take this corner from the Leeds United right. Hit him very deep. It's half cleared. Solomon with time to bring it down onto his right foot through a crowd. Diving heading clearance gets it away. And then another right footed shot from Joseph balloons over the bar and into the upper tier behind Michael Cooper's goal.
Well, there was a couple of stinging blocks in there from Sheffield United players. I mean, there's too many players to know who it really comes off. I think Ahmedhodzic, heads the first one. And then I think it's Brereton Diaz that gets clattered as he's trying to block. And then it comes to Joseph, fortunately. And there's a player that's lacking confidence with that finish. Gigantic steps towards the ball when you need smaller steps to control and compose yourself. Got it horribly wrong. Up and over the crossbar with the half volley.
Well, he came off the bench to score against the Blades back in October. Since then, he's only scored once in his subsequent 24 Leeds appearances, and that was the 6th in a 7-0 win against Cardiff. And Joseph could do with a goal. Tom Davis is going to be coming on for Sheffield United in a moment. But Leeds again, beginning to walk to their task the longer the half goes on. Bogle getting the ball wide out to the Leeds United right. Dan James clipping it inside the box. Oh, brilliant header! And it's 1-1. Firpo making his way forward again from left back. Absolutely untracked. He missed his first chance early in the half. He didn't miss that. He's powered his header past Cooper. It's 1-1 and Leeds are back on top.
Well, he's recalibrated himself, Firpo. He learned from that first chance that he had, and he just showed genuine composure. But it's the willingness to get into the box. It's Bogle, the right back on the far side, that lends it to James. James does brilliantly to clip it in, and it's the left back that gets himself into the box against Brereton Diaz, who's not used to defending out wide. and he just nods it in. He just makes absolutely sure, gets the full meat of the forehead back where it came from, past Cooper before he can even touch it. Leeds are level.
It's only his 4th goal for the club in 108 games. His previous one this season came against Sunderland back in October. He scored at both ends that day, but he's got the equaliser here with 18 minutes to go. Sheffield United 1, Leeds 1. It was a brilliant header, and the Blades have been warned because Leeds had tried that move once before. Firpo should have made more of the first chance, couldn't have made more of the second. Davis has come on for Brereton Diaz in the aftermath of the goal, and the former Evertonian immediately involved, nudges it down the touchline for O'Hare, but it's gone out of play for a Leeds throw, and the goal scorer Firpo will come across to take it.
Well, it was brilliant from Dan James on that right-hand side. He didn't really look either, he just got past his man, fed it into a good area, and there was Firpo testing Brereton Diaz. As we said right from the start, do you want to track, do you want to defend? He didn't get back Brereton Diaz, and Firpo was there to head in.
Sidney Peck bringing the ball forward for Sheffield United. Travelled a long way. Very optimistic appeals for a penalty. I think it hit Firpo on the leg rather than the arm. Chowdhury then makes his way forward, and another full-blooded challenge comes in. Vinny Sosa actually leaning over Solomon to make sure he's okay. And it's going to be a throw which will be taken by Leeds United inside their own half with Firpo. 1-1 the score, and Leeds back 2 points clear at the top of the division, and probably the best result that Burnley could hope for as well. Though you might argue that Burnley fans would be quite happy with a Leeds victory here to keep Sheffield United just 2 points above them. Stroud gets it for Solomon. All of a sudden Leeds are looking the more likely winners of this Yorkshire derby. Firpo with the ball in. That was blocked and now will be brought away by Ahmedhodzic. Down the Sheffield United right. Good ball as well. Cannon takes it into his stride, spins it down. Great covering by Roden. So quick as he got up through the gears there. Make sure he was there first by the corner flag. And he's made sure that it goes out of play for a throw, not a corner. But another opportunity for Robinson to launch a long one, which is as good as a corner, really, inside that Leeds United penalty area as the Blades look to restore their lead.
There'll be plenty of the centre-forwards in this division that will be taken by surprise, I think, by Joe Rodon's pace. He has got genuine pace over that sort of 30-metre sprint. Recovery speed's very good.
Robinson with a long throw inside the box. Cleared. Chowdhury heading it back. Leeds very quickly push outside the penalty area, and Peck not taking any chances, goes all the way back for Cooper. Long ball over the top from Cooper, brought down inside the penalty area by Harmer, and again really well rescued by Roden. What a couple of minutes he's had. Harmer sprinting forward, delicious first time ball forward from Cooper. Harmer couldn't get there, and then from the quickly worked Sheffield United throw, they haven't been able to do anything with it, and it's gone straight over the line for a goal kick. Roden has just picked up a bang to the rib cage, I think, in one of those pieces of exceptional defending. And he's just trying to get a little bit of air into the lungs as he walks away from a position of pain inside his own penalty area. It's 1-1 with 13 to go here on TalkSport 2.
And he did brilliantly again. Had to recover because Harmer was really clever. He made a really deep run, and Cooper just fired that into him. He took a really great touch, but again the pace of Rodon got Leeds out of trouble.
Stroud with a long ball over the top, hit Joseph on the head really, rather than him being able to guide it into his path. And the Blades clear for Vinny Sosa. Back from him to Chowdhury. Chowdhury to Sosa. I think that might be his first mistake of the night. He still managed to make sure that it wasn't embarrassed, and he's won a throw off Mateo Joseph, but it hit one foot and then hit the other. And all of a sudden became a fight ball, but it is a throw that will be taken by Sheffield United on this near touchline with Chowdhury. 12 and a half to go. Leeds with this brilliant record. I mentioned in the second half how much they outscore their opponents. They've scored 18 goals in the last 15 minutes alone of matches, including 2 last week in that great comeback against Sunderland. And hoping to repeat the trick here from having been 1-0 down to turn it around and win. 1-1 the score, 12 minutes to go. Throw which will be taken by Junior Firpo at the left-hand touchline. Turned back by Harmer, headed away by Strapp, brought down by Vinny Sosa, whose touch takes him down towards the touchline. He nudges it away from Joseph to bring in Chowdhury. Chowdhury bought himself a little bit of time and then couldn't find O'Hare, shipped it straight out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Leeds United left. And would you agree with me that at the moment Leeds are looking the more likely winners?
Oh, for sure. You know, they're looking fatigued, aren't they, Sheffield United? Felt the same about Sunderland last week at Ellen Road, and they're pretty relentless, as we heard before the game also. And once you've got that confidence of being able to produce those second half performances, the opposition realise it also.
Sheffield United have got the ball at the back. 2 centre halves exchanging passes. Ahmedhodzic has got a little bit more licence to come forward now. He's worked it down towards Chowdhury. Chowdhury looking for Tom Davis. Firpo trying to manhandle Davis as he put the ball out of play. It is a throw which will be taken by the Blades. Robinson hasn't come forward to take this. Chowdhury takes it and goes back to halfway. Ahmedhodzic with a little drop of the shoulder gets away from Joseph. O'Hare spinning the ball down towards Tom Davis. Davis is ball inside the penalty area. An opportunity for Cannon. Cannon trying to turn, got a left-footed shot in. Roden in the way, almost inevitably. Burrows will take it on. Burrows towards the edge of the box. Nudges it past Peru. Harmer now. Almost a full 360 from Peck in possession. Sosa to Ahmedhodzic. Sheffield United still with possession, concentrated in the Leeds final third. They've worked it back that little bit deeper. 1 step back to take 2 forward. Robinson now down towards Peck. Peck with another excellent pass, driven through the midfield. It's hard to think now when you see Peck play that he had only got 1 senior appearance to his name coming into this season. He's played more than 30 times over the course of this campaign. Here he is again. Another excellent ball, driven out towards the Sheffield United left. Burrows has got it, and has he won a corner? Yes, he has. First of the second half for Sheffield United.
Yeah, it was really good, sustained possession from Sheffield United. They haven't had a huge amount of it. Most of it, their joy has been balls down the side or into the centre forward. That was good, patient possession from left to right and back again. And won a corner.
So Cannon stands in front of the goalkeeper. Davis is actually behind the goalkeeper, between him and the line. It's going to be an in-swinging delivery from Peck. A really congested 6-yard box. Sosa peels away, chests it down, left-footed from Burrows. Little flick from Ahmedhodzic. Bit of improvisation. And he got some deviation on the fly, but Meslier dived to his right and made the save. Now he bowls it out quickly. Davis with a recovering challenge gets it away from James, who might be coming off in a moment because Nyonto is being readied. Leeds win it back in the midfield. Rothwell's done well. And now he's played it out towards Manuel Solomon. Solomon coming forward towards the edge of the box. 8.5 to go at 1-1. A game in which Sheffield United led for almost an hour. Leeds currently looking the more likely. Bogle, bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area. Laid back out to the far touchline. James is able to come onto it. Tries to hit a right-footed shot that Peck can block at source. James again, little teased ball inside the penalty area for Bogle's run. That's cleared. Rothwell thought about a shot, took it on a yard, then thought about a shot, then plays in Solomon. Firpo round the back. It's hit Cooper's leg, I think. It's cleared out towards the edge of the penalty area for Peru. Oh, brilliant turn from Peru. Left-footed curving effort, not as good. Straight into the hands and midriff of Cooper.
Oh, it's a shame because the turn was exquisite from Peru. Lovely little Cruyff in between 2 defenders and then looking to curl it into that far corner never set it out far enough. Straight into Cooper's hands.
Well, it isn't going to be James who will make way for Gnonto. It will be Solomon. So, Manor Solomon coming off. And here comes Willie Gnonto. Hasn't started any of the last 10 league games now. Just 1 goal in his last 12 appearances, just 5 for the season. And is increasingly cast these days in the role of impact sub. And he has it again today. There have been 20 assists or goals from Leeds United substitutes this season, which is a magnificent record, bettered only in this division by Sheffield Wednesday. Ball headed on through the midfield. Firpo can just nod it down. A high right-footed, high up and under clearance from Peck, headed on by Sosa. Sheffield United haven't really been able to get Harmer too heavily involved since he's come on. Here's the blonde-haired Davis. Back from him to Chowdhury. Akmandojic, Robinson, the slightly more slightly built of the two centre-halves for Sheffield United. Davis plays it forwards, lost it. Gnonto poking it into space. Here comes Peru. Leeds United 4 against 3 just for a moment. Peru taking it on. Cooper with the save, diving to his left-hand side. Peck then gets a touch that stopped it falling Peru's way again. James will try and shepherd that out of play for a corner. He's managed it. But Leeds getting closer with 6 to go.
Well and truly sliced open there, Sheffield United. Excellent one-touch play from Leeds to set Peru away. To be fair to him, he had his head up looking for a pass if it was there, but actually opened up for himself. Struck it really well, nice and low, dipping in front of Cooper. Goalkeeper does really well just to keep his eyes on it and parry it away.
And make sure that he didn't tip it into the path of one of the unrushing men in yellow. Leeds' 4th corner of the night. Right-footed away swinger from Rothwell. Dealt with by the nearest Sheffield United defender, Robinson. Another ball inside the penalty area. Strout's got his head to that. And then a diving headed clearance from Peck gets it further away. Another optimistic handball shout came from the Leeds fans. Nothing doing from the players. Ball played down towards Gnonto, and the touch far too good for Harmer, who has caught him but doesn't receive a second yellow card.
No, and rightly so. This lovely bit of skill from Gnonto just to get away. And he does catch him, but shouldn't be a second yellow and to be sent off for a challenge like that. He doesn't go in particularly firm. It's just a lovely roll from Gnonto.
He was pleading with the ref though, wasn't he?
Yes.
He had both hands up, his eyes out and stalked. Please, ref, don't send me off for that. You haven't sent anybody off for 14 months. Don't send me off for that. Free kick to Leeds. Rothwell stands over it. Harmer's the one-man wall. He's 3 yards outside the penalty area. Not really a shooting position for Rothwell. He's in the limit of range. I mean, he might go for it, but it's overwhelmingly favourite that he's just going to try and tease this inside the penalty area for the runs from Strauch and Roden. Joseph is in there hoping to deal with some loose pickings. Firpo's already scored once with his head, is lurking within 10 as well. Rothwell's left arm above his head. 3-4 steps forward, curving it in, and straight to Cooper. That was not what was required at all from a Leeds perspective.
I think he wanted to try and catch Cooper out there and never really committed to it, because in the end it was such a poor delivery for anyone trying to get in there and get their head on it. I think he just got caught in 2 minds.
1-1, 3.5 minutes to go. Sheffield United with a nice touch from Cannon, who can then make his way forward and try and feed O'Hare. Leeds winning most of the loose balls around the edge of their own penalty area now, can get it away. And here comes the Italian Willie Gnonto. Down to his left-hand side for Matteo Joseph. And Joseph popping the ball off to Strauch. Tanaka for Gnonto. Gnonto onto his right foot, Tanaka coming onto it. And then Sosa very quickly on the scene, so he couldn't get a shot in. Gnonto can! Oh, good save, Cooper! That was close. It was dipping over Cooper, who took a step back and just got his fingers to it to flick it over the bar and onto the top of the net for a corner.
Yes, a stunning save. Hardly any backlift from Gnonto. almost looking as if he was going to cross it in, and then really whips through the back of the ball towards that far top corner. And then Cooper with his right hand going up and over the top of his head to flick it above the bar. Lovely goalkeeping.
Leeds running out of time, 2.5 minutes to go. We felt if the game had another half hour to it, they would definitely win. 2.5 to go, 1-1. More pushing and shoving going on, and much the movement inside the penalty area as the header comes in, is off the underside of the bar and in. And Leeds United lead 2-1. It's Tanaka with the goal, and it is a monumental step towards the championship title. A real mess of a set piece. Enormous jubilation and euphoria amongst the travelling supporters to our left. That, one of the critical moments of the championship campaign. Tanaka and the other Leeds players almost invisible, engulfed by travelling supporters who've come down over the railings to the precincts and perimeter of the pitch. Their jubilation understandable. Leeds United behind for nearly an hour, but with a minute of normal time to go, leading by 2-1. And Tanaka with a header off the underside of the bar. Peck trying to clear it off the line, couldn't do so in time. It's Sheffield United 1, Leeds 2. Now Tanaka, and a 5-point lead.
Leeds have done it again, as they did last week. There's no falling apart at the moment for this Leeds side. They're absolutely building a promotion push. It's a really good header from Tanaka because it comes in very, very quickly. The ball in from Rothwell from the corner. The header from Firpo again. Just heading it down towards the back post, hoping that someone has gambled that it's going to fall to him. Tanaka does, and he just cushions the header back towards that far post and in off the crossbar.
Yet again, they've turned it around in a big game. Did it against Sunderland. Now they've done it against Sheffield United. And they're on the front foot once more as they look for more. Ball played back. Peru, 3-1. 2 in a minute. It's victory for Leeds United. It's a 5-point lead at the top of the championship table. And surely it will be promotion.
What a strike this is from Joel Pirot. Absolutely stunning. He only had 8 touches in the first half. That's one hell of a touch. Just fed to him by Dan James, who had burst down the right hand side and unselfishly tucked it back to Pirot outside the area. He just saw his options and realised the best option was a rocket of a left foot. Absolutely powered the laces through the back of the ball, and it shot past Cooper, who almost got a tiny touch to it, but it was just too quick for him. Stunning strike from outside the area past the goalkeeper.
Massive celebrations away to our left-hand side in the Leeds end. There was then a contretemps inside the Leeds United technical area. And I don't know whether some of the Sheffield United fans thought that there was over-exuberance in the celebrations. Couldn't see what the flashpoint was. But there are some angry looks from that Leeds technical area back in towards the stewards and the Sheffield United fans behind that dugout. But it's 3-1 to Leeds United. We're in 5 minutes of added time. The numbers board came up just as the ball flashed into the net. And when play restarts, Sheffield United will have 5 minutes to score 2 goals to salvage a point. Kiefer Moore's going to be coming on very shortly. Sam Byram is being readied by Leeds. Moore on first. He'll replace O'Hare. And that's the Blades' final change. Byram is Leeds' 4th substitute. And he's not going to be coming on just yet. We're going to win the league. The cry from the Leeds United fans away to the left-hand side, and now you are going to believe him. Free kick to Leeds in the midfield, and that will give Ed Reamer the chance to make this change, and it's just going to be a straight swap. Byron will come on for Bogle, who will leave the field. Boos still ringing around his ears, but as he leaves the field, he turns and applauds those Leeds United supporters away to our left-hand side, stationed under the big scoreboard that says, in big white numbers on red, 1-3 with 93 minutes gone.
It just shows, doesn't it, the character now within this Leeds United team. Ridiculed time and time again for lacking the minerals at times from this division. Not anymore. It's twice now in a matter of a week that they've shown against top opposition that they're more than capable from coming from a goal down and winning the game.
Goal down with 12 minutes to go against Sunderland. They won 2-1. Goal down with 18 minutes to go tonight, away to the next best side in the division. And in all likelihood, they're going to win 3-1. Robinson playing it forward, looking for more. Gnonto gets it away. He's made an impression since coming on, and has tried to go in for a 50-50 there with Vinny Sosa. A monumental victory for Leeds United, but particularly in the manner in which it has come. A night where, for long periods, they haven't been great, but they're going to get the job done emphatically. Davis has been fouled. It will be a free kick to the Blades. We played 4.5 minutes of stoppage time. My guess would be there's another 3 to go. The table as it stands right now, with 12 games left, Leeds 75, Sheffield United 70, Burnley 68, Sunderland 62. Free kick to Sheffield United that Harmer is going to take. Not in shooting range. Leeds keeping a line just outside the penalty area. Harmer raises his arm, hits it in, should be Mellier's, and it is. It's a little coming together with Robinson, who went up trying to get there, and he's ended up face down. Meslier, I don't think did anything wrong. He was perfectly entitled to come out and catch that, but the collision between the pair of them was inevitable, and the game's just going to be elongated by another minute or so. That was a nasty one for Robinson. Both he and Meslier with their eyes on the ball. Meslier jumping the higher, and he came out and caught the side of Robinson's face with his hip.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's desperate to try and get on the end of it, and Mellier's been really brave and jumped above him. Not a lot he can do. Took a whack for his troubles.
Meslier clears. Ball brought down by Peru. Laid out to the Leeds United right for James. Very little room with which to work. There are so many empty red bucket seats over on the far touchline. You can read where it says Blades on that stand now. So many of the Sheffield United supporters have made their way back into town and home. Nobody's left that jubilant away end away to our left. We're in the 7th minute of stoppage time. 3-1 to Leeds. And that is it. And that might be it in terms of who wins the championship. Yes, there are still 36 points to play for, but Leeds United extend their unbeaten streak to 16, their longest since they were champions of England back in the 91-92 season. They left it late yet again, 1-1 going into the 89th minute. They've won it with 2 goals in 2 minutes, either side of the numbers board coming up. Bitter hammer blows to Sheffield United, who are 5 points adrift now of Leeds. Leeds marching on to a place in the Premier League, and you would imagine doing it via the Championship title. A brilliant performance eventually. The last 20 minutes, they were exceptional. They've got the job done yet again. Sheffield United 1, Leeds United 3.